Oh, welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Everything Horror. I am your host, Tessa Baker, and I am joined by my co-host.
Paul.
And we have a very special guest today. Katie, say hello.
Hello, happy Halloween.
And happy Halloween. Woo.
Ooh. So, Katie, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your love for FX makeup
And horror.
and horror?
Okay. Oh, wow. Well, I've been in love with doing makeup since a kid. I'd always do makeup on my friends, and Halloween is always one of my favorite times of the year. So I guess it just kind of was a natural transition to like doing makeup and wanting to learn more. Yeah.
Nice.
I think we can all agree that Halloween is like our favorite time of the year.
I know it is for me.
Definitely.
Absolutely. No, it's creating characters and becoming something else is for a little while is really kind of fun and cool.
Speaking of Halloween, now Katie, are you one of those people that kind of follow the old legends of like the rules of Halloween when it comes to Halloween night? Like you gotta leave the pumpkins lit, you gotta leave the decorations up all night, you like that kind of stuff.
Speaking of which, we got to get a pumpkin.
Same. I'm a little behind this year.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love the history of Halloween, and just reading all about it and, all the little traditions and, the little traditions spins that everybody puts on it too is like really awesome.
Agreed.
So, Katie, what got you interested in FX makeup? Was it your love since you were a child, or?
It was, but I finally, realized my passion, for it, when I began watching The Walking Dead, and I was like, oh, that is a new level of insanity that I just need to try, because I had been doing it, my love of Halloween and dressing up and creating characters. And then I was like, I saw The Walking Dead and I was like, I need to go further. This is just awesome. So I realized that it had really been in me for a very long time. And then I was like, yeah, I got to go forward. And I'll find any excuse to dress up and do makeup.
Yeah, I saw some of your pictures up on Facebook earlier, and I was actually pretty impressed.
Yeah, I'll use any holiday, any event, so like Christmas, sometimes I'll do them. Valentine's, I've done makeups, or even when I'm doing makeup for like theater, a theater group or something, like I'll dress up. I'll dress up before I go in and do makeup, and I'll like, to get into it. And, it's just kind of a fun way to like be a part of it in that way too. It's, even if I'm doing lights or sound or anything like that too, I'll like, you know what? I want to get a little spooky or find a reason to dress up.
Nice. Katie, the next question is, do you remember what your first FX makeup was?
So my first effects makeup, I want to say, was a zombie, and it was inspired by, the incredible work of KMB Effects Group, and their work on The Walking Dead. I think that was really my first attempt at, really like adding stuff to my makeups, kind of making more like prosthetic type, features. So I would say that was probably my first, you know, special effects, beyond just makeup and dressing up.
Nice. So like
Yeah.
adding those extra scars on the face or that half-eaten cheek or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Lacerations, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Now, um, in your own opinion, what like out of the scars and we'll say like half-eaten cheeks or whatever, but what would you say at where you are now, what has been the most toughest FX that you've ever had to do?
Oh, wow. Um, the toughest. It's all, it's everything has its own level of kind of difficulty, I guess. Um, because it's sometimes it's all a learning experience, and sometimes things don't turn out the way you think they will, and so
You got to plan something
you
better, like, okay, how do I make this work kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you run into that. So they all, I think they're all just challenging. They're all just challenges. Each and every character, it's like, okay, how do I pull this off? This vision.
Right.
Um, So yeah, as far as toughest, I mean, they all have their little challenges.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. It keeps you on your toes.
It does. It does.
What would you say is your favorite FX makeup you've ever done?
So they vary so greatly. I really love, I did Edward Scissorhands. That was so much fun from, building the hands and the scars and everything like that to, Uh, just recently I did the Dark Crystal, and that was a huge challenge. Moving up a level in my knowledge and skills, and that was a lot of fun. Creating the uh, Skeeksis and the Gelfling, and yeah. So those are my recent favorites. They're all my babies. They're all my little creatures. Last night I took my crew out, my little Dark Crystal crew, and we had a good time, and it was so fun just watching them be in character and having fun, and the people coming up and wanting to take pictures with them. It was like watching your child or something, like, oh my God, they're so precious.
It's
That's
your little
awesome.
monsters, pretty much.
My little monsters, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we all gotta love them, even when it's been like 10 years. It's almost like that teenager thing. It's just like, you become a teenager. Where has time flied?
Right. Well, and that's funny you say that because, like, looking back to some of the makeups, when I first started doing this, and I'm like, a little moment in me is like, oh, what an amateur. But I mean, everything along the way is a learning experience, and I'm like, those are my babies, and they're still my babies.
Have you ever looked at them though and been like, I should have done this better or something like that? Like, have you ever looked at one of your old projects and been like, man, I kind of wish now of what I know now, I wish I did this or something? Have you ever done that?
Absolutely. And actually, even with creatures that I create now, like, it's kind of like, that artist struggle where, your piece is never really finished.
Yep.
Like you could keep going forever. But
Yep.
then there's a point where you just have to like put it down and say, this is done,
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you can't
So
just put it down and then come back a week later and be like, okay, well, you can, but like you said, there's a point in time where you got to say, okay, it's done.
this is done, because exactly, I'm my own worst critic. So like everything could be, it could be like a lifelong project. You're like, I could do this, every time I go back to look at it. So, just looking back and being like, that was good and I could have done this different, but you know what? It was an experience, and we'll just go forward from here.
Nice.
So besides The Walking Dead, where you were inspired from, where else have you drawn inspiration for your FX makeup?
Oh, I draw it from a lot of my inspiration are from other artists, just, watching movies and watching YouTubers and things like that. There are so many incredible artists out there that are so talented and amazing. And I just love like surfing the web and just like looking at the amazing work that people do. And yeah, that's really where I draw it from because it's like, wow, this is so amazing. Now what can I do? You know, the work of like Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger at KMB Effects or Aaron Kruger Cash or the oldies, you know, Rick Baker, V. Neal, even going way back to like, you know, the godfather of, you know, special effects, Dick Smith, um, all the face-off artists, you know, just watching all that is just, it's so incredibly inspiring. And their passion helps fuel my passion. And it's just, it's amazing. So I
What
follow a lot of different artists and, you know, and draw from their love, you know, and it fuels my love and it's incredible.
now have you ever been inspired by like the old school black and white like Universal Studio monsters like Frankenstein, the Werewolf Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, like that type of movies, like Phantom of the Opera even. Do you like any of those old black and white Universal Studio monsters?
I love them. They're my favorite. They're my favorite creatures to kind of do. Um, and so I did a theater production of Young Frankenstein. So I got to do a Frankenstein.
Ooh,
And yeah, and that was fun. And now I'm like, ooh, how do I build on, you know, like going back to those old makeups, how do I build on that? I want to do that one again. And um, I'm going to be working on a Wolf Man. I'm so excited about that.
ooh.
So yeah, I love the old monsters. They're my favorite.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite black and white films, silent even, is Nosferatu.
I just did so I just took a dental effects class with Tyler Green from Face Off and I did Nosferatu teeth. And I was like,
Okay,
cool.
I think I did see that. Yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And now I actually have some ears that I want to do. So I can't wait to create like the whole thing now.
Oh, geez,
Yeah, you
that's
know,
gonna
and
be
take some
fun.
black and white photos. Jazzed about that.
Nice. Yeah, I, I mean, you just gotta love the old classics, even if they are like a silent film or whatever. You just gotta appreciate what we got, I guess, to help create what we have now, per se.
Exactly, the beginnings, you
Yeah,
know, the beginnings. And really back then that was like, whoa, like
yeah,
people, you
exactly.
know what I mean? Like people are doing this? Like it was a weird thing.
Agreed.
Um and it's so awesome to see, you know, the evolution of it and that's what I love. I'm kind of like geeky that way, you know, like I'm like I'm like one of those like old school people, you know. So
Well,
I love old school because you know what? Without old school, there'd be no new school. And
exactly.
you know, you gotta give props to the past.
Yes, you do. And the so Katie, just to throw it out there, what is your take on the whole uh new horror stuff nowadays versus the old school like horror?
Classic
Oh,
horror.
yeah, like the classic. Like, are you liking this new school horror, or would you still prefer like the classics?
So, like I said, I'm a dork, so I do enjoy mostly the classic horrors. But there's a lot of great, you know, stuff out there and, you know, but, you know, my favorite things have always been like, you know, story, you know, like the old like short stories, like, and I say
Scary
old,
Story
I'm
to
like,
the Dark.
yeah, you know, or like, even like, you know, Tales from the Dark Side or Creep Show. Those were my favorites. Like, so I'm very nostalgic, you know, like, you
Like
know,
us.
Yeah, like
80s.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it brings back memories for me of being terrified.
Agreed.
And you know, as a kid, my brother would make me watch these scary movies to terrify me. And that's where part of my makeup like interest came from. I'm like, I want to know what these scary things are. You know?
So it's like in your own way, it's like your own way of dissecting the monsters in a way, I guess.
Right,
Yeah. Okay, what's going on in here?
right.
Um,
So, yeah, I'm
yeah.
a sucker. I'm a sucker for classics, and a lot of the things that I grew up on. So,
Yeah, I won't lie. As a kid, I used to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that kind of used to give me chills too, just because I just wasn't sure if that was what I was watching was real or not.
right? Yeah,
So,
my daughter's into Goosebumps. So she's watching all the old Goosebumps and
oh, nice.
stuff like that. And it's really funny and cool to watch because she actually now has a passion for makeup and all this stuff, and it's really cool. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder where you got that from."
Oh yeah, you're gonna start makeup too.
So
Wasn't
she
me.
is right, and she's going back to the classics, with me.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
so it's really cool. But yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, where are we now? Number 5?
Hmm.
Katie, what is your favorite scary movies? Or what are your favorite scary movies? There we go.
Oh, like I said, I think it's a lot of the classics, like, or the 80s, uh films, I remember really like what used to scare me the most. The scariest one I remember as a kid was Hellraiser. So it's funny to watch that, but I don't know favorites. I'm so bad with favorites.
I know, because they
Again,
were
it's like
like all
choose.
good.
It's like right. It's like choosing.
It's
Like
it's so hard to choose. It's like people say to us, "Oh, what's your top three favorite, scary movies or horror movies?" And we're like, "Oh,
Oh
oh,
God.
that's a hard one. Oh
Can we just
God."
do it by genre? And what I mean by genre is like black and white, silent,
absolutely right. Exactly. Like
It's like, how can you choose?
right. And, because you could even go into another level, like, what's your favorite ghost story? What's your
That's true.
favorite vampire story? So for me, it's kind of character based, like,
That's
so it's
true.
like, what's your favorite alien or your favorite, so it's like, absolutely, you're right. It's like, it really depends.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but you did mention Creepshow and Tales from the Dark Side, and those are favorites of Paul and mine too,
Yes,
because they're really
absolutely.
good. Universal monsters are great too. One of my favorites is the black and white Night of the Living Dead.
Well, who doesn't
Oh,
love that?
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nosferatu is another one.
Yep.
They're just all so good.
Kind of like,
Definitely.
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre with George A. Romero. So may
Yeah.
he rest in peace too. Which that.
Absolutely. George.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep. Godfather of the Dead.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. A sad day when I saw that. I was just like, no way, he passed
Yeah.
away. And what sucks
Yeah.
too is that he was working on a new film. I forget what it was called, but
Really?
he was
Huh.
working on something new.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, one of those really great people who, started like a lot of great stuff, and absolutely,
Yep, like
rest in peace.
Poltergeist, yes, like Poltergeist, Texas Chainsaw, Night of the Living Dead. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. So yeah, that's all I can remember at the top of my head right now for George A. Romero. Oh, what is it? Dawn of the Dead, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
Yep. There's the other one.
Yep. Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead,
Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead.
Yep.
Zombies.
Zombie!
Hence why he is called the Godfather of the Dead.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, Katie. For brands of what brands of FX makeup do you use, and do you have a favorite brand that you like to use?
So there are so many varieties of makeup that I use. It's
Here we
hard,
go.
you know,
We're making
again
her
with the
think.
I know, and again with the favorites, you know, it's like I can't choose a favorite.
All right, what's your most what's the word I'm
What
looking
one do
for?
you use the most?
Pliable. Like, what do you use the most that seems to work best for you?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Whatever gets the job done the best.
Yep, there we go.
Okay,
I'll take it.
that works.
I
Seriously,
will
you
take
know,
it.
sometimes it's you know, it is. It's just it's whatever gets the job done the best. So, you know, and I've been building up my kit more and more, you know. I'm like a makeup fiend.
Which one of these days we will both get our makeup done by you.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes. Certainly. I would love to do that. We will make a plan for that.
Yes, we will. We will have to. Um, what's the next one here? And of course I get this question. Okay. All right, Katie. So, you played a part back in Dead Static, the short film where you and I first met, actually. And how did you enjoy it? And did you have a favorite tale from it?
So it was an incredible experience. That was the first time I had worked on an independent film doing makeup. I had also acted in it and realized I don't want to act anymore. I really want to do makeup. So that was really great. And my favorite tale was the Pittsburgh Haunted House, Paul, which you starred in.
Yay.
And my
Chad.
daughter too.
Hey, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, this Chad person. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I had to tell Tessa that that was your little daughter, and she's just like, really? And I'm like,
She did so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, and that was so great to watch and have her be a part of it. Like
She
it
was a
really felt
trooper,
like a little family business, you know,
right?
like here
Like,
we are, we're
yay.
making horror, we're making creature, you know, I'm doing
Yeah,
makeup, she's acting, she loved it. Uh,
she was a
so it was,
trooper with all
she
the stuff
was,
that went down. Like,
cause she was pretty young and walking through the haunted house, she was like the clown on the stairs. I do not like walking by it. I think there was a clown on the stairs. She's like, I don't want to walk by that.
oh yeah,
It's
that big
okay.
clown. Yes, yep.
Yeah.
It's like hide me from the scary clown. I don't want to see it.
It
While
was
I
a
go and
George,
be a
wasn't
ghost girl
it?
that
That was
kills
funny.
people. So
Yep.
that was absolutely so much fun. Um, you know, just the experience was incredible, and you know, that was my favorite tale. You know, partially, you know, my daughter was in it and there, and you know, so that was really great.
Yeah, my favorite one was Emily's Bridge, because I thought that was pretty well done with the way they
That
did
was
that.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pittsford was even the longest one, the longest tale too, but I honestly don't remember anymore because it's hard to time all the films,
Well,
all the tales.
and then the time, you know, like time, yeah, when you're in a project too, it's like, where did the time go?
Exactly,
You
exactly.
know.
I remember when we had to film Harley's interview, like after everybody left that Pittsburgh haunted house. So we had to actually run to a store. Well, first we had to figure out what store was open, like around 11 midnight time. Go get some candles, and then come back to the Pittsburgh haunted house just to film that interview. And it's just like, oh boy, hopefully we got enough candles.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll never forget my experience either working on that because it was definitely like fun brutal and a learning experience all at the same time.
And it really is. I mean, nothing. This stuff is like long hours, but at the end you go, "Wow, I did that."
Yeah, that's right.
It's brutal. It beats you up mentally. It beats you up physically. But, at the end of it all, you miss it and you go, that was really great.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was almost thinking about rewatching it on Friday since that was the original release date for it, I believe, was October 27th. And
Oh.
I think it was. I want to say it was because you know how Facebook is nowadays with the whole like, oh, you have memories. I kept seeing dead static like memories on October 27th, so I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Nice. I remember being really excited to have that come out, especially around Halloween. That was like, yes, it's Halloween time.
that's right. All the
This
ghouls
needs
and
to,
goblins.
right.
Yay!
So I was so excited to finally be able to show it to my family, and then around Halloween too, which made it just all the better.
Right. I agree. What was your favorite tale, Tessa?
Oh, I think it was between Emily's Bridge and the Pittsburgh Haunted House. It was between those two because I really liked them both.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, Katie, since we have you for a second, maybe you might be able to help clarify your tale that you were in, which for those of you listening, this is Katie who acted in the second tale of Dead Static, known as the Greenmount Cemetery.
Which had Black
Yes.
Yes,
Agus in
which
it.
had Black Agate. Um, now, I know we've probably mentioned his name quite a few times now in these podcasts, and I guess in this case, Katie, could you possibly elaborate more on how, like, you had to, because I know with Greenmount Cemetery, that place is, like, locked down, like, central, like, the police is, like, watching that place like a hawk,
Oh yeah.
and you guys were able to sneak in and get that shot, and then you had to use a different cemetery, but it worked out in the end. But I didn't know if you could maybe elaborate more on the story wise, like like Tessa and I and everybody else who usually like see your tale were like, wait a minute, is this like an ancient like burial ground or getting possessed by like Indians or something, or what's going on here? Did Jay or Owen ever say anything to you about what
Yeah, like what happened to you? What were you and the other girl like possessed by in this tale?
yeah,
So, funny story, and I'm gonna start a little bit way back. So, I am from Montpelier, where the tale takes place. And even funnier story is there used to be a house right across the street, and it used to be called Dead Man's Corner, and because people would hit our house, and I lived there. So
nice,
doing that tale really was really a lot of fun for me. I grew up across the street. They ended up tearing down our house because they needed to make the road wider because everybody would get into car accidents there.
of course.
Um, so I grew up, and I grew up in Montpelier living the story, of Black Agnes. And so the tale was a little different than the old story, that I knew, the folklore growing up, where if you sat on Black Agnes's lap, in like 7 days you would die, or something horrible would happen to you. So as teenagers, of course, we all went and sat on it.
And you actually
But
survived to tell the tale?
I guess so. I actually didn't, but I know people who have.
Oh, okay.
Not saying, I'm superstitious or anything,
You
but
just don't you
I
just don't
just
want to
don't,
play with those kind of
you
supernatural
know,
forces.
absolutely, exactly.
Like I'm not gonna
So,
do that.
So yeah, being possessed, was what the characters became by the demon of Black Agnes in the
Okay.
tale of Dead Static. Yep.
Okay.
That makes
And,
sense.
So working in that cemetery on that film was, even though I'd been there a million times at night, it was just creepy because now I was doing like, it wasn't just, being a teenager walking through and being all crazy. We were doing a scary story on top of it. And I'm like, oh, this is, this is scary.
did it more like, oh God.
This is like, oh gosh, why am I here? I really don't want to be here now.
Can we come back maybe when it's like a little bit lighter?
Daylight.
Yeah, daylight, please.
And I'll wear garlic and crosses and
Bring some
holy
holy water.
water.
Yeah. Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah, so for me, especially growing up across the street, that story is so ingrained in my history. So
Oh
it was
boy.
it was also really great to be able to be a part of that and like do it as an adult, be like, wow, my old stomping grounds. I mean, we used to take sleds down the hill, like one of the hills there. We would go sledding, My
Oh
dad
wow.
would build big jumps and stuff in the graveyard. It was like our backyard. So
Hmm. That's cool. The only thing I kind of wish Owen and Jay did, or at least Owen did, was at least gave subtitles to what the EVP said. Because I can never remember what the EVP is supposed to say. Do you remember?
oh, uh I don't know. I don't remember. That's a good
Oh
question.
no!
No, I'm
That
sorry,
EVP
I
is gonna
can't.
always be a mystery now, because I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really a brain teaser for me. I really can't
See, it's
remember.
been a brain
And I'm
chaser for me too.
and I'm sorry I can't answer that question.
That's fine. I can't remember either for the life of me. I'm like, no.
Well, I'll watch it again and I'll let you know if it, spurs up any memories for me.
Yeah, because that's supposedly the EVP that you heard right before you guys got possessed, as I remember right.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Wow, my memory's gotten bad.
yeah, don't feel bad. Mine is too, but that's probably because I just barely turned 30 this year on Friday the 13th. Whoa! So,
Woo!
so, yeah, I think years of 30 is starting to show.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, next thing you'll know, I'm gonna be 40 with Alzheimer's. I mean, geez,
No, no, don't say that. That's like creeping up on me. So
yeah, right.
you're a
Um,
youngin'.
yeah, I don't feel that. Not with all the stupid things that I've been through in my life, but, um, God, that EVP now is gonna forever drive me crazy though, cause
It's going to haunt you.
it's going to haunt you. Well, that's like that new Halloween quote that I keep seeing this year is if you got it, haunt it.
Hmm.
Oh, huh.
Oh, you haven't seen
I
that?
haven't seen that. No.
Man, that seems to be like on everything now. T-shirts, signs, like if you got it, haunt it. So
Uh,
I don't know how I usually spot those, but I walked into like TJ Maxx or whatever, and it's like right there. It was on a sign or something, and I'm like, well, that's new because I don't
and
remember
you're like,
that.
we've been haunting since forever. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Jeez,
Now you got to put it on a t-shirt. I mean, been there, done that, burnt it a long time ago.
well, that's like when we went to Salem this past Sunday.
Which we
Oh,
loved it
how
there.
amazing. Yes, how amazing. I was so jealous. I still like I'm like next year. I've got to do it. I had one thing I haven't done and I just,
It's so incredible there, and the energy is just
Amazing. Yeah.
It's
You could feel it.
amazing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you can
could
definitely
feel
feel
it.
it.
It is just so good.
Yeah, like if you think Vermont is bad energy wise, Katie, when you get to like Massachusetts and just hit the ground in Salem, you're just like, oh my God.
Like a
You just
different place.
It's a different place. It's just like you just feel more relaxed and happy because everybody there is just like so nice. Like me and Tessa got lost a little bit, kind of, because we're like, it's been 17 years since I've been to Salem, and like we're trying to understand the map and stuff. And this one person noticed we were like quote unquote like lost, and she just stopped what she was doing and she just like, oh, where are you guys trying to go? And we were like telling her like, just trying to figure out like where all the
Essex Street is.
exit street is and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, well you can go up the street and take a left to go blah 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 here, or if you take a right, you can go to Essex Street. So I'm just like, okay.
We could make a tale of that. Are you lost? Come with me. It
Never
sounds
be
like the
seen from again.
beginnings. It sounds like the beginnings of a creepy horror story.
It does. It does. It's
But
almost
I'm
like
glad
Wolf
it turned
Creek,
out well.
right?
And
It
you
could be
Yeah.
like
found
Wolf
your
Creek.
way.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a blast. We can't wait to go back. We're talking about possibly like going back for like an anniversary, you know. But
Nice.
it was so much fun, and I actually got Paul to, dress up with me in costume and do pictures,
Yep.
I saw that.
which
I
was
saw that.
nice. Which was,
Nice.
and we had fun, and he had a lot more fun than what he thought he was going to doing that.
I guess.
You
It
had
was
fun. You
different.
looked like you were having fun.
Sure. It was a different experience, I guess. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to
Well,
answer that anymore. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend Salem to anybody who hasn't been there. We got lucky to go on a bus trip that was like $65 a seat, but I mean,
So
worth it.
worth it.
Worth it.
So worth it. It was
Just to
so
just to
nice.
see like the Salem Witch Museum and the statue again after 17 years, like I just felt like a kid again when I saw that statue. I was just like, oh my God, 17 years ago, this is exactly like how I felt too. Just we drove up to the statue and there it was, and I got off the bus and I'm like, and yeah, it was just
Nostalgia.
so fun.
it's like Disneyland for us haunted kind of
Exactly,
people.
Exactly.
exactly.
And I haven't been back since I was like 2 years old. I went with my parents when I was like 2. My parents brought me there. But as soon as my feet hit the ground, I was just like, oh wow. It's like now I remember, why I wanted to come back here so badly.
Yeah.
Right, but you have a pull to that place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we definitely got a pole to that place. All right.
We're eventually gonna relocate and move to
Move to
Salem.
Salem. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely nice and peaceful there.
Oh, nice. It's always nice when you go to a place and you're like, I feel like this is where my being needs to be, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Yeah, so hopefully one day we shall relocate down in Salem. So that will be our long life dream.
Yeah.
well, good. I'll have someone to visit then, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we'll have like enough space to put you up in a room with us.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Excellent.
a lot of room then. I
Yeah,
want to come down
especially if I'm
too.
gonna bring, especially if I'm bringing my makeup too. Like,
Oh yeah.
sometimes my makeup can take up like an entire room.
Oh, then
It's
we'll
like
make
it's
sure.
like it's like okay, well we have a guest bedroom here, and then we have like a pull-out couch here, and then if you want to, you can throw some blankets down here on the floor and crash here.
Yeah.
We'll come walking out of our bedroom, and we'll have to like step over people and stuff.
Hey, that's all good. The more the merrier, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like okay, guys, get your asses up. We're going to explore. Let's go.
Agreed.
Coffee's ready. Move it.
Where's Katie? Oh, you already know where she is. Oh, right. Okay, we'll let her be then. What is she going to be today? She hasn't decided yet. Too much makeup. Oh, okay.
Oh, right, right. That's sometimes the problem. Sometimes the problem is like, what do I want to create? There's so many cool, great things,
actually,
that I want to create. So
speak.
sometimes I actually get like artist block where I'm like, you
What do I
Yeah,
know,
want to do?
instead of writer's block, it's artist block.
Yeah.
right, because there's so much. It's like I can't,
It's like, what do I
Well,
do?
speaking
I
of
can't
which,
put it all into one makeup.
right,
you know?
right.
Although that might be interesting.
You could do it. Oh God, we just
Oh
gave
God,
Katie an idea.
like a mashup of different things.
We
Yeah. Oh
just already
God,
just gave Katie an
I
idea, I
can't wait
think.
to see what that's
I
gonna
know, right?
transpire
This
into.
might be a scary thing. Like, how do I create like this totally twisted like mega makeup of vampires, zombies, wolf people, aliens, and I don't know, things from swamps and go. I don't know. You
Well,
made my mind go crazy.
just take a, well, just take a look at like Underworld, how they have the werewolf vampire hybrid, and then, or always go back to like Alien versus Predator Requiem, where they have the Pred Alien.
Right,
I
right. See, but
mean,
that's
yep,
two. I mean, we're talking like we just like tried to mash up a bunch.
yeah, that too. But yeah, I mean, just kind of get an idea of how that works, because like the Pred Alien, you can definitely see like the alien face, but the alien the Pred Alien had like that Predator face mixed with the alien face.
Isn't that so incredible? Those creature designers are just wow.
Insane.
It's like how and that's the funny thing too about makeup is like so in my like teenage years like I started getting into like I want to like be a doctor or like a nurse. So it's weird like all these geeky weird things that I was like into like science and like human anatomy and then the makeup they all like when I finally realized it I was like this is what this is. This is what special effects makeup is. It's all these things that I've loved all mashed into one. So it's really cool because you really need to know like all that stuff. You're working with chemicals, so you're basically a chemist. You're
Right.
doing you're working with, human anatomy. So, kind of like a doctor if you're like you need to make something work, squirting blood or
Like
cutting
a
off limbs.
twisted mad scientist makeup
It,
artist.
Seriously, that's what they are. That's what we are.
Now we just need a sidekick,
Right?
but we need to make sure he had the hump on his back, because otherwise it's not a sidekick.
Oh, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, or you could have that guy from Young Frankenstein.
Right.
What the hell is his name?
Igor.
Igor.
Igor. Yes.
Igor.
Igor.
Yes, master.
Darling.
Did you miss me?
Did you miss me?
That
Uh, uh, God damn it.
part is just funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just remember
it's
him
like,
going
did
through
you miss
that.
me? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Um, you want to dance or whatever he said.
Love me?
Love me? Act natural, nothing happens.
Such a good
Oh
movie.
my God.
Oh, poor Gene Wilder. May he rest in peace as well. He
Yeah,
was great.
yeah.
First time I
I
ever
feel
saw him,
you're getting old when like all these like
all your
people like
favorites are dying.
yeah, the people you grew up with and it's just
Sad.
Yeah,
it's very saddening.
like
My
David
heart's
Bowie
breaking.
even.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
Legend and stuff or sorry, not Legend. Oh wow, my mind just drew a blank.
Well, in a way, they are legends, though.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
are
they're the ones
legends.
that started it all with certain things, technically. Like Romero with the being the master of the dead kind of thing. And
Wes
everybody, yeah,
Craven
Wes
and
Craven, yeah, and that saddened me too when Wes
yeah, I was
Craven
very
went.
sad about that.
Like, I think I ended up watching People Under the Stairs when I heard his passing, because People Under the Stairs is just like, it's just one of those movies where when you watch it the first time, it's just like, what did I just watch?
Yeah. So I haven't seen that movie in forever, and I remember being terrified by that movie.
I
Yeah.
need to rewatch that movie.
And then realizing, this is why I love Two Makeups. It's like, really, are the creatures as bad as they really are? What's their story? Maybe, they were tortured,
Yeah,
like,
some are
there's a
tortured.
reason why why some of them are monsters.
Exactly. Just like in the real world today. I mean, people are monsters, or they create the monsters, per se.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
People.
yeah. But what were you going to say, Katie?
Oh, what was that? Like, it's like a American Horror Story. I think I have a T-shirt. It's like, people scare me, or all people are monsters, or something.
Normal
Normal people
people scare
scare
me.
me. All
Yep.
people are
All
monsters.
people are monsters. Yep. Yeah, I actually want that shirt too. Normal people are monster or scare
Normal
me.
people scare me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of want that.
Yeah, me too. Just like,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know how I feel about American Horror Story lately, though. I mean,
yeah, we haven't watched Roanoke yet, and we haven't watched Cult, but we've seen like all of the other ones, and
I still say Coven is my favorite. I don't
Covenant,
care.
yeah.
Or Coven.
Yeah, Coven.
Yeah, Coven. Yeah,
Yeah,
And I
Coven.
really liked Monster House. The Monster House
the
one. The
first
Mur-
one.
first one.
Murder House.
Murder
Yeah.
House, Monster House. I think that was another. That's like a kid's movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
Murder House.
Murder House. I
Freak
really
Yeah.
Show
like that.
wasn't that bad either, but there were certain parts of Freak Show that made me sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hotel was just weird, but awesome
Yeah.
at the same
But
time.
but the
Asylum
end, I
wasn't
know
bad either.
the end of Hotel was like, I loved it. I loved the end of Hotel.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember the way they ended it. I think they gave it to the other guy, I think. Or no, they made it so that it couldn't get demolished or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then they were all just, they're hanging out at the bar and like talking
Oh
about
yeah.
what they're doing, like.
Yeah.
Countess ended up a ghost with her husband or whatever,
Mhm.
Yep.
and all that jazz.
Yep.
See, and I love those tales. Like, it's and they're using the same actors, and it's just really cool to see them transform in each season into their new roles
Yeah,
on that show, which is really cool.
like wasn't the guy in it like a detective or something, but he was also like the Ten Commandments killer? I'm trying to remember.
Well,
I think.
well, I know what's his face from Murder House, the one in the black spandex suit,
Latex suit, yeah.
latex suit. He was what's his face in the motel, the serial killer guy, pretty much. I just forget who.
Yeah, Ten Commandments killer in Hotel.
Yeah, the Ten Commandments. Yeah. Yeah, he was the Ten Commandments. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he had the detective finish his work or something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
that's right.
it's just horror is just wonderful.
Yeah, and I really love the shows. Like all the shows. Like, I was so sad when what was one of my favorite, Penny Dreadful. Penny
Oh
Oh,
Dreadful
God.
was
oh
such a
God, I
wonderful show, and it had
loved
all
Penny
the
Dreadful.
classics. It had
I
all like the classic
was,
monsters. I was so sad that it ended. That was
yeah,
like an amazing show.
you and me both, because Paul had to listen to me go on about it for a while. I was like,
I
oh,
still haven't
why?
watched it because I just heard about it from her, so I'm just like,
We have to like rewatch it because you'd probably like it too. But it was just
I don't know
it
if I
was
want to rewatch it now
it
because
was
maybe I'm gonna be like
so
you.
it was so good. I was so sad. Like I was crushed when they stopped after
I
season
know,
3. I'm
same,
like,
same,
why?
same. I was like, this needs to go on forever, please,
You
please.
need to
Yeah,
like do like 6 more seasons or whatever of this
I'm
shit,
still
like you do with
crying.
everything else. I'm still dying on the inside because of it.
Exactly.
It's like, oh my
Same.
God.
But Stranger Things, this was released on Netflix like last night at like 3 a.m. And I'm like, so I got into that show and I can't wait to watch it. You know, my husband's into it
We
and
still need
so
to
can't.
watch it, but I keep hearing good things about it, so it's making us go, okay, I guess we'll watch this. Me and Tessa like Salem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see the TV series Salem, that was so good.
nice. I have not watched that one.
Oh God,
Oh
it's
God,
so
you need to
good.
watch it.
Okay,
It's so good.
if
it's
you
going
like
on my list.
if you like your like history lesson type thing, but with like a twist, I guess per se, then you'll like Salem.
Yeah, it's just so like
Yeah,
we would get like so like amped up for it. Like we'd like be like, oh, hurry up work day so we can go home and watch Salem. Like, let's go.
yeah.
All right.
And then we get sad when we get near the end of it, and we're like, "Oh no, one more episode, and then we're done."
It's like, oh
No.
no, and then we gotta wait.
Oh, I know the waiting is the hardest.
Yes.
That's the
It's
hardest.
excruciating.
Yep. Yep. But unfortunately,
But you know, that's what makes it also great. You have something to look forward to during the week, right? I mean, like I already know like Sunday nights is Walking Dead. That's it. You know, like that, you know, so or, you know, whatever, you know, show like that. It's like, okay, this is popcorn, hunker down, get comfy, cozy up and watch these things, you know?
Yeah, make sure you get your drink and everything you need and go to the bathroom before it even starts.
right?
Right.
'Cause you're not gonna want to move.
That's like the TV show on Fox that just got canceled or whatever from what is it, season 4, I think, Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Paul was sad about that because
I wasn't sad about it.
well, you were wishing that they kept going with it. I think,
No,
wasn't it?
no.
What were you? What series were you upset about? There was one that you were upset about that you wish that they kept going with. I forget what it was.
I don't remember.
Um,
I honestly now don't remember what series, but no, I haven't
It's
even
that
seen.
30s Alzheimer's kicking in.
See, exactly, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
did
Or
you
maybe I just
mention
need more wine. I don't know.
did you mention Lore to her?
I did not.
That's another series you should check out. They just started with it and it's on
Amazon Prime,
Amazon Prime and it's called Lore. Lore.
which is also based on a horror podcast with the same name.
And
Nice.
Paul and we watched the
Season.
first season of it and we thought it was great and
Yeah, it was very
very
well done.
interesting.
So sometimes you get torn with that. Like, do you watch every week or do you just wait and binge on it? You know, binge on it when it comes out on the Netflix or whatever. And, you know, like hunker down for 3 days instead of just, you know,
I
once a
think it
week.
did take us like 3 days to watch
Yeah.
it because we definitely like
We spread
wanted
it out.
to. Yeah, we definitely spread it out, but it's just one of those things where it's so good where you're just like, I need to watch the next one.
Right. And so, and that's what some people I know do. They're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to watch them. Don't tell me about it because I'm just going to binge on them because I can't wait.
Yep, yep. It's kind of like with people with Walking Dead that I hear all the time on Facebook. If you spoil this tonight, I am unfriending you, or blah blah blah. It's just like, oh boy, dude, it's a
But
TV
who
show.
does, you know, well, but who does that? Don't spoil something. I hate that. Like when, you know, even, you know, with movies or anything, people are, oh, you know, blah. And I'm like, I haven't seen it.
Yep, yep.
It's like
It's
shh,
the world nowadays. It's the
quiet.
No
world.
spoilers.
Shut
I
up!
I know it's really exciting and you want to share, but please, no spoilers, please.
Just shut up!
Just shut up.
Just wait till I see it, and then you and me can like talk
And
about
then
it.
we'll spoil it. No.
And yeah, and then we'll spoil it.
No, just kidding. But exactly, you know.
Well, it's just like um. I guess what I'm gonna say is for people listening right now is we already recorded this, yes, but so when you actually hear it, we didn't really mention it. So right now, we recorded the Halloween specials for this podcast like a couple days ago. But I guess the point that I'm trying to say to this is that it's kind of like Trick or Treat with Sam, not with Ozzy Osbourne. With That's a Funny Tale too, because I remember I bought the Trick or Treat movie that came out 10 years ago with Sam in it, and a buddy of mine is just like, what? You don't have Trick or Treat because that has Ozzy in it. And I'm like, no, Ozzy isn't in this one. He's like, yes, he is. And so then me and my friend had to literally meet up with both our copies of Trick or Treat. My friend brought the one with Ozzy, and I brought the one with Sam. And then so I hand him it, and he hands me it, and I'm like, see, they're two different films, but there's different things going on here. And Tessa here, Katie, are you familiar with that movie with Sam, Trick or Treat?
Yes, a little. Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know. It
Okay.
might be my 30s Alzheimer's, but yes.
well then, I think what Tessa is about to say might, yeah, we'll just have her say.
So before Paul and I even got together, I had never heard about Trick or Treat with Sam. I had never heard about it, and come to find out, it's been out for like 10 years, and I don't know how in the world I managed to miss that, but because it's such an amazing movie. But anyways, I knew about the Trick or Treat with Ozzy Osbourne, but I did not know about the Trick or Treat with Sam. So
Ah.
when I mentioned that to Paul, he's like, "Okay, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch this after work, like as soon as we get home
Tonight, because
tonight,
it's
and
not
you're gonna watch
Halloween
this."
without this
This
movie
will
anyway.
not be a debate in our home any longer.
Yep, yep. He's
Exactly.
like, "You're gonna sit down on this couch with me, and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna love it."
And you're gonna see why we need to adopt Sam.
And so I'm watching the movie with him, and I'm just like, and it gets to the part where it's like showing Sam, and I was like, "Oh my God. I want to adopt this like pumpkin head shaped child because he would just be so perfect in our little horror twisted Halloween loving
Exactly.
family."
Exactly.
So,
I love it. Hey, Halloween families, those who hunt together stay together.
yep, right.
Exactly. Or in this case, with our profile pictures, as Tessa put it, those who
Conjure together, stay
conjure
together.
together stay
Oh,
together.
that yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's funny in my house, it's like, I'm like, okay, it's August, let's put up Halloween stuff. And they're like, Mom,
Like,
life,
please no.
like you're crazy. And I'm like, you guys know this already, so it's good.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of crazy and stuff, which it's sad to say this already, Katie, but me and Tessa went to Michael's last week, I think it was.
hmm
And guess what, Katie?
The Christmas crap is already overwhelming this
Michael's
over Michael's, and the Halloween section
is
is
small.
dwindling.
Yep.
So, you know
It's
what?
so very
Here's what I'm going
sad.
to say to that. It is very sad, but you get great discounts on Halloween
Yes,
stuff.
you do.
So, and I'm
Yeah.
all about the discounts. So, you know what? If Christmas wants to take over, as long as I get like good deals, I'm
Keep
good.
them
And get
coming.
all the Halloween stuff that I want to
Because
get. Just keep it coming.
exactly, because guess what? My house is going to be bigger and better and hauntier, and you will not be able to ignore this Halloween.
Exactly, right?
Well, our kitchen is actually Halloween themed, and part of our living room is too. We've been like slowly converting like our apartment over to Halloween stuff.
A little bit,
I'm
A
yeah.
just
little bit,
sad to
yeah.
see. I'm just sad to like see it go. Like I usually I
They
wait
should
till like
really just keep it like all year round and
Every
do
day is
I
like sales
Halloween.
on it.
I know
And
that's
just be
I
like,
would totally love to.
there
I would
is,
totally love to.
there is, however, a Halloween store
Oh,
in
yes.
New York City that runs all year round.
Yep.
There is one.
No.
Yep.
Yes. And it runs all year round.
Okay, so I see another road trip in our future.
And also there's a cafe in New York City that I want to go to, and it's called Beetle House,
I
and
was
it's
just gonna say
inspired.
it's a Tim
Yep,
Burton
Tim
one.
Burton. Yep,
Yay!
it's the Tim Burton Cafe. So again, road trip.
Again, yes.
Yep. So we've got like a whole
Absolutely.
crap ton of road trips to do, Katie. Let's get on
We,
it.
I'm already on it. I'm planning.
She's already looking up tickets and everything else.
It's like
Right?
okay. It's like okay. Let's do this.
Ah, man. But before we get on anymore, is there anything else that we need to ask or add? Katie, is there anything
Anything
that you
else?
feel like we haven't asked you that you would like to share with us?
Um, so I just think that, I mean, just final thoughts is, it's, doing makeup is, super rewarding, like in dressing up and it's, transforming people and making them unrecognizable is incredible. And seeing the expression on their faces and other people's faces when they see their results, is incredible.
So with that being said, I'm gonna book mine and Paul's like Halloween makeup appointment with you like ahead like now
All
for
right,
next
all
year.
right. I'll
Yep.
pencil you in. I need to get a new calendar though.
Well, that's
You
what a
know?
phone's for.
She's like
Right, right.
she's like, okay, Paul and Tessa are coming for Halloween makeup on this day. Set an alarm.
Set an alarm
Set an
for an
alarm.
hour ahead, maybe 2 hours ahead.
It depends. It depends on the makeup. That's one of the crazy things is, some of those old, the old Frankensteins and the Universal monsters, I mean, they would take 8 hours in a
Yep,
chair.
yep.
I mean, can you imagine sitting 8 hours in a chair and
Maybe
then
shooting for
acting?
15 minutes and then done. Yeah.
So that to me is so incredible. It's like the passion and I mean,
Yep.
just amazing. So it's not easy. It's not easy sitting in the chair. It's not easy,
Speaking
but
of
it's
sitting in the chair,
fun as hell.
speaking of sitting in the chair, this would be a perfect question then, or experience question, I should say, or something. Anyway, it's going to involve the makeup. Katie, when you and me were helping with Dead Fi's short tale called Trouble in the Attic, you were putting makeup on the extinguisher guy, the not
Yes.
extinguisher guy, the oh my god,
Yeah, the exterminator.
yeah, the exterminator.
Yes.
Extinguisher. Oh my God. Yeah, there's that 30 Alzheimer's again. All right.
Right?
Rearing its ugly head, yeah.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah, the exterminator. Yes. I mean, he was in your chair for like what? 2 hours, I think.
Um, I don't know. It was, yeah, there's that Alzheimer's, but it was, yeah, it's a while. It's a while too, and that, we were going back and forth, with the director and stuff, like, is this what you want? And, and stuff like that. And that's what I've learned too, is to, like, through the course of doing this is like really working with directors and really finding out what they want beforehand is super important. Because doing it on the spot is extremely difficult, um, which I've done. and so, like really having a clear vision, like, beforehand is, like I said, super important. Um, and I think we didn't know, and that's probably why he was in the chair so long, because we hadn't really gone through it. So,
Well, I remember Owen as um changing as things as he went, he did ask you to change, I think, his makeup on his face quite a few times because it wasn't like, it was either too white or not white enough or something.
And that's it too, like that, and that'll happen. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So you kind of like, you adapt to that. You got to be on your toes a lot, especially doing that art, because like I said before, things change, things don't work, things fall apart, so it's
Yeah,
like being able to adapt that makeup all the time is super important to know
agreed.
for anybody who wants to do this. Like you have to be like Johnny on the spot and really innovative and inventive to kind of like surpass those challenges
Agreed.
when you're working. So, and that's what makes it fun and interesting too. I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment, but I love those challenges
Well, challenges is
that
what
those
helps
bring.
us like learn too, because we're just like, okay, this is the challenge, but I'm gonna overcome the challenge because you know,
Adapt and overcome.
yeah,
Adapt and
yeah,
overcome, and then use that knowledge in the future.
yep,
Exactly.
yep,
Yep.
and that's the best way to do it, anyways.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the nature of the beast with like, with films and makeup and all that sort of stuff is like, I mean, you never know kind of what's going to happen, and you just have to be able to, I mean, you can't foresee it, so you just have to, go with it, and then on the drop of a dime have to, um, deal with it and correct it. So
Yeah,
that's super fun about that job,
yeah,
you know.
and I mean, and you call it, you get to create your little monsters or whatever. So I mean,
And then
it's
I have more kids.
exactly. Oh, speaking of kids, do you still have the baby in the jar?
I don't. I
Oh
don't. The baby in the
no.
jar. No, I never completed the baby in the jar. Yeah.
Man, maybe that might be another story later down the road.
That will be, absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause I remember when you were telling me about it during the trouble in the attic, and I'm just like, really? You're just like,
Yes, my
yeah.
Halloween prop. My Halloween prop. Yeah, that's no longer, a prop, but I
Oh,
had to use the jar, so I had
ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's it though, right?
Mhm.
All right.
But Katie, I already know you anyway, like pretty well, but you don't have like a Facebook page for your FX stuff, do you? For like if
I
people,
don't. I
well,
don't,
you
but I'm
need to
actually going
make
to
one.
start one. I
Yes.
know. That's what I was told last night when I was out and about with my dark crystal creatures. So hopefully you will see an After Midnight Effects Instagram and Facebook page coming up soon. So I
So
will be working on that.
nice. Now, if somebody wanted to contact you about scoping something, or maybe see some of your photos, or talk to you in general, do you? Is there something that you would be willing to say where people could contact you, like email address, Facebook? I don't know. Unless you just wanted to say, just we'll just wait for the Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely it'll be a Facebook page, and it'll be After Midnight Effects. And also on Instagram After Midnight Effects, which will also have probably more contact information and such like that. But definitely look out for it, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it'll be fun, and then I'll
because
come
I've
back
got like
and
pictures to choose and which babies to show, and
just show them all. That's just the way to learn an
Be like,
experience.
these are all of my creations.
these are all my babies.
Yeah. Or if you really wanted to, Katie, for a long-term project, you could always make a photography book with all your FX that you've done. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
publish your own little photography book. That would be kind of cool. Or if you wanted to, create your own little monster calendar of all your creatures.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, right?
yeah.
So many choices.
So many
So I
decisions.
know. So many. So many.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, so definitely I'll be getting those up and running and I'll let you know.
yeah.
Um,
That way I can put the links down in this description for the episode. So that way
Excellent.
people can see your work.
And know where to find you.
Yeah, and know where to find
I
you.
know. I'm so old school. I'm like, I'm still using the telephone, the landline. I'm surprised it's not rotary. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's what that old saying?
Better
Uh,
late than never.
well, besides that one, besides that one, um, oh my God, what is that old saying? It's like something about like die like not the maybe it's Die Hard or something like. Anyway, I don't remember what the old saying is, and that's gonna kick me off now. So yeah, but Tessa, anything else to say?
No, I don't have anything else to add, but we want to thank you, Katie, for joining us and
Thank you guys.
doing an interview with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Yeah,
hope you
no,
had
it was really
fun.
great. Absolutely. Yeah, it was fantastic. So, look forward to talking to you guys in the future.
Yeah, thank you. I know we kind of planned to do one for you, but of course, as life goes on, we all get busy. So it's just like, oh, we need to get Katie's interview in at some point, maybe, or whatever. I don't know.
It's been super fun.
Yeah,
Super fun.
it has been. And it's been great to see your work and stuff, especially when you did that class that you went to and you uh, graduated. Is that the right term? You
Thank
graduated?
you. Yes,
Yes.
I went to FXU. RJ Hattie, who was on Face Off, had this incredible class for like a weekend, and it was amazing. It was, I mean, talk about like building confidence and building skills. It was super duper. And yeah, I was very excited to attend that and very appreciative of, all these great artists that, share their skills, and that's part of it too. I did a Boy Scout workshop for the Boy Scouts, and it was, teaching the youth, and they were so excited, and that excitement, like again, it's just this huge network of passion, building on passion, building on passion, building on passion. And I remember the most rewarding thing was one of the little boys came up to me and he was like, oh, it makes me want to tear up. He was like, if my parents think this is real, I'm totally going to become a makeup artist. And that
Oh,
right there killed my heart. I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is so cool.
that's right. Corrupt you, little ones. Corrupt you.
Right? No,
No,
so
it's
yeah,
it's
that's the
great.
best thing.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, throughout our other podcast interviews and stuff too, we always feel like people who are in the horror genre, we seem to be like the most friendliest because like we all have our different views of movies and stuff for sure, but we can all agree that the monsters and stuff are like is what keeps us watching really. It's just like, ooh, what monster are we gonna see next? Like, and what can we do to create? And like, in your sake, it's more like, what can I do to make somebody get scared? Like, what can I create and make it my own baby? Like, in that
Yep.
case. So, yeah, I mean, I just love horror in general, but that's just because back when I was young, I sneaked out of my room and went downstairs to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula one night, and I'll never forget that. Probably didn't sleep that night either, but that's okay.
That's okay. I
Yeah,
still
that's
don't
okay.
sleep.
But yeah,
uh,
it was great.
absolutely.
But I think that is it. And like Tessa was saying, Katie, thank you again. And so yeah, so everybody, as you probably just heard, Katie said that to watch out for her Facebook page and Instagram for After Midnight Effects.
Yep.
And that's going to be coming soon. So keep watching this episode, and you'll probably see an updated description with links at some point in time in the near future. Um, as always, you can find Everything Horror Podcast everywhere. We are still running a charity for Smarter Than the Killer, which helps pay hospital bills for those suffering cancer. So if you would like to donate even a dollar can go a long way to saving somebody's life and paying off a bill.
Donate. Yes.
Yes, donate.
Yes.
And the link for that will be in the description. Otherwise, you can go to that is bit.ly / smarter than killer. And you can donate there. Or, if you would like to join the horror crew of me, Tessa, and a few other friends of ours that love horror and hate cancer, feel free to join our group. Because we can all be buddies, I guess. Until then, guys, I was your co-host for the evening, Paul Dosky.
And I was your host, Tessa Baker.
And Katie, as I don't know if you've ever listened to our episodes before, but the way we end an episode is by saying "Stay scary" on the count of 3.
Awesome.
So when you're ready,
I'm ready. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. This is really great. I just want to say that once again. Is thank you.
Oh,
And
you're welcome. It was so great to
awesome.
have you.
yeah. And if you ever feel like you want to chat about something for the podcast, just let us know. We're down to do pretty much anything because after all, our title is called Everything Horror. So,
And so on that note,
and on that note, Katie, you can start off the countdown.
all right. 1, 2, 3.
Stay
Stay
scary.
scary. Woo!